Whoa, whoa, playing on easy mode. Whoa, whoa, playing on easy mode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the official Playing On.
Wait, can we say that?
Say what?
Can we say the word official?
Well, I mean, this is our first episode, right?
Yeah,
Officially?
I guess so.
Then you bet your sweet ass I'm gonna say it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the official Playing On Easy podcast.
Well, that was actually pretty good. I'm surprised.
Hey, man, thanks.
Plus, you got talent.
Thanks, man. I
All
appreciate it.
right.
Appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was the beginning. Welcome to Playing on Easy, as we're gonna try and get that name at least. This is episode 0 technically, but our first episode. I am your beginning host, Tired Sandwich, and I have no idea what I'm doing today, but we're gonna do our best.
Let's go.
The other person that you heard is none other than the fantastic Blessy,
Yo.
who wrote that intro
Who?
while we were watching this movie. And then we have Grandmaster Bran, and we have Silver Lancer.
Hi, guys.
Yo.
All right, so we are not sure exactly what this podcast is going to be yet.
I have
Little
no
bit-
idea what we're doing.
Yep. A little bit of movies, a little bit of video games, a little bit of bullshit, but we're going to figure it out eventually.
A lot of it.
Today, I'm going to let everybody, one by one, we'll talk about what we kind of like to play, what kind of movies we like, well, a little bit about ourselves so that you guys know what we're bringing to this podcast officially, right? Officially?
Official. This is
Officially.
This is an official podcast now, fellas.
We're officially
and
official.
lady. Officially
And lady.
official. Yeah.
We're the officials.
I don't know. With looking at the back of my head, you guys sure that it's not the bum podcast instead of playing on easy?
No, I like the back of your head. It look nice.
Back of your head is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I like your
Ridiculous.
cut, G.
All right, guys. So we will start with the one who wrote the beginning of this, Blessy. If you would be so kind to say what kind of games you like, movies, and just let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yo, I'm Blessy. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight. I've been playing a lot of Tower of Fantasy lately.
Genshin Impact.
It's not Genshin, but okay. I don't know. I play whatever strikes my interest at in the moment. Uh, I watch a lot of movies. I watch horror films, comedy, action, pretty much anything. I'll give it a try as long as it's not too terrible, except for the movie we just watched. But yeah, so that's me. That's what I'm into. That's what I like.
All right, and the most important thing is, how tall are you?
Bro, why you gotta
Oh,
why you
why?
gotta bring this up on the very first episode of the podcast?
I think
I
I
am
think I think people
6'6",
want to know. You
6'6".
6'6"?
All right, so we know that Blessy gives big, good hugs and is super tall. All right. Next
True.
up on the list is our other co-host, lovely Grandmaster Bran. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Grandmaster Brand. Sorry, I should stop playing with the stuff on my desk that's sitting down there. I play video games too. I play
Captivating.
mostly.
Very
Captivating.
interesting. Wow. Tell us more. Tell us more.
Riveting.
I play lots of battle royale games and lots of RPGs and D&D type video games like Divinity and Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. Um oh man, this is gonna sound like I'm not a gamer. Souls-like games. That's what I was trying to think of. I like Souls-like games. I'm not really good at them, but you know. Anyway,
Comment.
I watch movies too. I like horror movies, action stuff.
Transformers.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
it.
It's just robots fighting each other. How cool is that? But that's kind of what I do. I do a little bit of everything. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. Action movies, horror movies, and now on to Silver Lancer.
Yo, named on Silver or Silver Lancer, whatever's easier. Video games wise, pretty much anything and everything, ranging from first person shooters, action, sci-fi, RPG, fantasy, you name it. Movies is pretty much the same thing. Uh, uh, yeah, I'm pretty easy, pretty simple. So that's it.
And that
Right
was
on.
the shortest intro for that one
Wow.
ever.
Wow.
My-
You're really
how
good,
tall are
buddy.
you, sir?
Why? Why you gotta do this?
Bro, they did it
Why
to
does it
me.
matter?
They did it to me.
People of interesting minds want to know.
Okay. 6'3".
Nice. All right. And as for me, I'm last, I guess. I'm Tired Sandwich. I am 5'8", the shortest of the group, pretty much. Other than Grandmaster
Brand,
Brand.
Yeah.
Brand's pretty short.
I was like,
I like all types of movies,
Tell
including.
them about the hentai games you like to play.
There wasn't a hentai game. It was literally not. There was one part in it. Okay.
what game was that though?
That was I don't remember at this point, but I will figure it out.
Okay. I have to come back to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll circle back on that
Yeah,
one.
Go ahead,
cool,
go
cool,
ahead.
cool, tight.
You like movies?
I like all sorts of movies, including rom-coms, horror, anything really that is good, and sometimes bad, just because it's easier to watch bad movies sometimes, like the one we just watched. But yeah, so
No.
we're gonna do our best to not suck at this, even though I feel like I'm already sucking. I don't know about you guys, but
incredible.
oh,
I
we're
don't know.
incredible.
I think I'm carrying.
Okay.
Bless you for
Yeah.
show are carrying.
I'm pretty
bro.
sure I'm a natural.
Bless you gonna need a chiropractor after this one.
Yeah, his neck's gonna be hurting.
It's okay, guys. I'm a natural. It's fine.
Yeah, no, you are. So we're gonna transition, I guess, to the movie that we watched, or lack thereof, actual movie.
It's anti-movie, like no, maybe.
No, for sure. We don't have a rating system yet, so we're just gonna go 1 to 10 on this for this first one, and then
I'm pretty sure you saying the movie wasn't a movie was a good rating system.
Whoa. Okay, let me finish. All right.
Okay.
So, we just watched the movie The Headhunter, which is directed by Jordan Downey, screenplay by Jordan Downey and Kevin Stewart. It's starring Christopher, I can't say the last name, Rigu, and Cora Kaufman.
Ooh, I love Ragu.
It is a movie about, as far as we could tell, a warrior who is trying to get vengeance for his dead, maybe daughter / random girl that he met.
Daughter or niece.
Daughter or
Guaranteed
niece? Okay.
daughter, yeah. She's related.
Okay. And his quest for vengeance, and yeah, so let's get everybody's, before we start talking about spoilers and everything about the movie, let's get a rating from everybody. We'll start with Blessy first.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I think that said it all, though, that haha at the beginning.
Honestly, I'll give it. I'll give it a 2.
Right on.
Okay.
I'll give it a 2.
All right. So Blessie's.
That's being kind of generous, but I'll give it a 2.
I feel like you're being real generous there, bro. Like,
Oh, okay. So 2 from Blessy. Bran, what do you think?
Oh, it's the absolute 10, bro. What are you talking about? It's great.
were we watching the same movie?
Heck yeah. I'm assuming at some point we're gonna explain our ratings, so. But
So you think it's a 10?
yeah, it's a 10. Obviously.
You
It's
think
great.
it's a masterpiece of a movie?
Oh, yeah, bro. It's like right up there with the other
no.
masterpiece movies that be out in the world. Yeah, I don't know what they are,
Really?
but
Really?
yeah.
Okay, she gives it a 1. That's just what we're going with.
Yeah, just drop the 0.
You're right.
I'll explain later.
Okay.
Be okay. We just move on. I'll explain later.
So Bran gave it a 10. Silver, what do you think?
Definitely not giving it a 10. I think that Blessy is generous with that too. A 1 to a 1.5 at best.
Okay, 1.5, not bad. Wow, you guys gave it real low.
What about you, Sandwich?
I'm gonna go with a 4. I
Right on.
don't think it
Yeah.
was. I don't think it was what I was expecting, but I don't think that it wasn't like some of the stuff was. Some of the stuff was interesting, which we'll get into when we start talking about spoilers and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't give it a 10. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but
Project for like 1 second. Brand said it best. The trailer was better than the actual movie.
It actually was.
It actually, like, legit
No, I'm
was.
being 100% honest. The trailer was so good, it made me want to watch
Like-
the movie.
Like anybody
Well,
who watches this podcast,
That's what a trailer's supposed to do, though.
right? But I mean, like, honestly,
true.
anybody who watches this podcast, watch the trailer, and you're done.
Yeah.
You're good. You're solid.
Yeah,
you saw
you
the
know,
movie.
Yeah. You really don't
Yeah.
need much after the trailer. The trailer was fire.
I mean, yeah, just watch the trailer.
Yeah.
yeah,
Some-
you definitely could. You're not missing much like this. So a little bit to know about
Well,
this. A
you're
little bit to know about this movie. Go ahead, real quick, before I say this stuff.
No, I was just gonna say it later. It's all good. Keep going. We got
Okay,
time.
a little bit to say about this movie. It's definitely an independent movie. It was it looks like it was a Norwegian movie, influenced by I'm so terrible with names. John Jacques Anod's 1981 film Quest for Fire. This movie was made with like $30,000 and it made 40,000. So I mean, it's a low budget. Like you can't expect it to be up there with like Transformers or other movies that have a budget behind them. But yeah, the trailer was definitely more interesting than what was going on.
Let's be honest. Most of their budget was shown in the trailer.
Yeah, their budget was the trailer.
The most action that happened in this movie was the guy screaming while he was pissing razor blades. Let's be honest.
It's true.
Yeah.
All the action of most of the I'll say most of the action of this movie happened off screen.
Yes, but
you
we
could-
did
you
get
could
we did
definitely-
get to hear the action though. We did get to hear
you
the
could
action.
definitely tell that they were working with a limited budget. And
And if you had the subtitles on, you could read about the action happening off screen. That was a plus.
All right. Let's get into the spoilers then. I'll explain what happens in the movie, and you guys can come in whenever. So the movie starts. It's in probably Dark Ages, is what I'm guessing, and there is a warrior that they just called the Father, who is in the snow, and he's remembering his daughter. I'm guessing. This dude does not get cold apparently because he's just like sleeping in the middle of the snow. How do you guys
He,
feel about that? That he was just like chilling out there in the snow, even though he had armor on. Like it looked like it was pretty fucking cold.
Okay.
Vikings, bro.
yeah, he's kind
That's
of a mountain guy, like a mountain man, mountain man.
Mountain
Yeah,
Man.
he would be man because he's one man, so it wouldn't be mountain man, be mountain.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, guys.
I don't know. So to me, this is how the movie started. Okay. Um, basically, we zoom in on this guy who's laying in snow, right? And
Yeah.
then he wakes up and he looks like, I know probably none of y'all know who Asmongold is, but he looks like Asmongold after he just did like 3 lines of cocaine. And he's like, raw, like he just woke up. And then like, I don't know.
No,
Hey.
that's because he just woke up. That would make sense.
that's how the movie starts. This guy is in the middle of nowhere and he's doing a bunch of cocaine and yeah.
We'll just call him the father for right now. So the
The
father,
father.
he is having a memory of his daughter. I don't know if she's dying, if she's sleeping. I don't really know. It was cold out. They were definitely in a tent or something. Off screen, something happens to, well, there's like a thing off screen that like runs past screen. You don't get to see what it is till later. And
Yeah.
he goes out and he fights it off screen, which is a little disappointing. They don't really show any fights in this movie. Maybe like a little bit of one, but most of them are off screen. Most of the kills are off screen, which I think was poorly done.
It
Like
hurt the movie.
I understand they're trying to keep the mystery of it, like the things that he's fighting, but really it just seemed like the budget was.
Yeah. Well, the movie was also short. I think it was a little bit over an hour long.
That's it.
So,
it
to
felt
yes,
it
he
felt
did.
much longer than that.
There weren't there weren't any kills on screen, but the amount of kills he got in like 70 something minutes was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nobody else agrees.
No, I do. So yeah, then the father, it cuts to him seeing the daughter again, and then it shows him like heading home and doing his stuff. Um, it shows him bringing the skull of what he killed, and he ends up putting on a spike. Right, that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
puts
put
it
it.
on.
No, I was just agreeing that he put it on the spike.
Yeah, so he puts it on a spike. You kind of get to see that he's kind of a like lone person by himself in this cabin. He's not nobody's there. Something happened to the daughter. You don't really get to know, like you just know that she was killed by something and he's upset about it. And one of the first things I noticed, at least with the fighting parts of it, do you guys think that him killing those creatures, do you think it affected his mental state?
I think his mental state was already pretty messed up to start, but it definitely didn't help for sure because like he just kept getting like darker and darker as the movie went on.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like most of his, it seemed like he was a pretty skilled hunter, right? So most of his life was probably spent like on his own or like going out on his own and just hunting and coming back and like trying to survive after whatever happened to him. So there wasn't a whole lot. I just feel like it's a survival thing for him. Like he's just like living like off of his survival skills and that's it.
Yeah.
So
And
here's what I
Like
think. Because we don't really know what happens or what has led up to this point. So
no.
we're not real. Who's to say he could be perfectly sane for all we know, and he just normally acts this way. Um, Now,
Yeah,
what I
I
will say is that he seems to be living on the outskirts of a village somewhere by himself. He's lost his daughter or whatever. Um, and being isolated like that will affect anybody's mental, right? So, yeah, I feel like just his situation in general is probably weighing heavy on his mental. Maybe making him a little crazy.
Yeah, because we don't really get to see like if he's an outcast, like you said,
Yeah,
like
we
we don't know
don't
what
know.
happened.
We
So
actually
we
have
just
no idea what was going on in
yeah,
this
he's
movie.
just really out there living life like
Let me
however
just
he
point
wanna
that
do
out.
it.
We have no idea what this movie was for.
Hey, let's be realistic. 90% of the movie, we were asking like, "What the hell is going
Oh,
Hey,
90% of the
100%.
movie he was asleep.
hey.
on?"
That's true. He
Fair
did.
enough. Fair
He
enough.
was well
90%
rested.
of the movie he was sleeping.
Hey,
He was well rested.
we did see two people in the movie other than the daughter. The guy who shot the arrow, and then the random person that was freaking on top of that whatever tower, watchtower or whatever.
Hey, you're also
Yeah, why were
you're for,
they there?
you're forgetting the biggest budget of the biggest thing of
Oh
their
yeah, the
budget.
horse, the
Horse.
horse.
Their horn.
Yake.
That's where
Yeah.
all their
Yake.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's where all
I
their
was
budget
getting there,
went.
guys. We haven't gone there. We haven't
I
gone
also
there.
I mean we don't ever get to see him, but I'm gonna assume there's a horn. Well, there's a horn somewhere in the movie, so there's got to be at least one person blowing the horn. And then remember when he was trekking over the mountains? They like on the subtitles it said chattering, like people chattering or whatever. So you never get to see them. But at
Yeah.
some point there was people around him and he actually decided to just not go in that direction.
Yeah,
It's kind of sad.
so basically we get to see this guy. He lives in his hut. He gets called by a horn, from what we can tell, to go hunt these monsters for this castle that's next to him. And then he comes back to his house, which I mean that thing's gotta fucking smell because there was a bunch of like just gore all over that house. And he usually comes back pretty battered, to where I made the joke that he's probably not that high level of a warrior because
Yeah,
he comes back like almost dead every time that he fights something,
he
which
does.
is interesting. And that's when we find out about the most weird thing about this movie, the magic poop mud.
Yeah. Like, it, if there is one thing to watch this movie for, it's literally the magic poop mud.
Yeah,
And
it's the
like,
alchemy.
we're not exaggerating either. That it literally looks like he took a dump and then mixed it with mud and then like,
Yeah. It's a little
yeah.
chunky, it's a little runny, and then he does some he like drops some stuff in a container with some liquid in it and it fizzes and then he like it's got some other stuff that's bubbling and then he like mixes it all together. So
Yeah.
he knows something we don't. Well, he know a lot of things we don't, but related to the mud, he knows something.
Yeah,
Right.
so we see him make this alchemic, as far as we can tell from what video games have taught us, it's a potion. You know, it's a healing potion, but it looks like poop. And so he puts it
It's
on him after a fight, and it heals whatever it is. Now, here's my question, um, that I wrote down. When he fights those things, if you recall, he like passes out, and it looks like he died after that first fight. Do you
Yeah.
think that he died in that fight and the mud brought him back?
I'm gonna say I
Possible.
think he was like knocked out or like close to death and lost a lot of blood, right? And then like the mud, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he like died and then came back. It's hard to tell how much time passed in between like the end of the battle, him coming back home and falling on the ground, and then him waking up again. Um, Based on other things we saw in the movie that we'll talk about later, I think the mud works fairly quickly too. It doesn't take very long to take effect. So I would just say he was like passed out, knocked out, for like 10 minutes, got back up, ready to.
so later on in the movie, we see that it is possible. And whenever the jar of this mud like falls to the ground on the head, it like resurrects it or whatever. So it is possible.
Yeah.
Um, how would he? How would that have happened though? Like, how would he? Who would have? There's nobody around to like open the jar of mud and like pour it on him while he's dead, right?
Well, and that's a question though. Like, so let's just I'll finish this up real quick. So this guy he keeps attacking monsters, getting them, pinning them on his wall. That's what he does over and over again each day until one day the monster that's I'm guessing killed his daughter comes back. He goes to fight it. He kills it and brings it back to his house where he's gonna pin it back up, but he's real hurt, so he like puts it down. The whole time he's kind of looking like he's not really satisfied with the vengeance he got. And at the beginning of the movie, you see this window that he was meaning to fix that is blowing in the wind when there is no wind. And it knocks over his poop mud and then drops onto the dead body, or well, dead skeleton, dead.
I think it's a dead like or
Like
I
a
think it's
carcass.
the head cut off, and then I think with the magic mud that he's got, I think parts of the spine grow out of the head.
Yeah, so
Personally, that's what I think happened.
so it drops on it, and the thing comes back, and he has to hunt it again. And he tries at one point to put some of this magic poop mud, I'm just gonna keep calling it poop mud because that's what it looks like, on a spider, and the spider comes back and he smashes it, and the spider comes back again. So you can kind of see at this point where it's going, to where he ends up finding it, fights it in a cave. Fights it first outside the cave. It gets caught up in a bunch of stuff. It goes after his daughter, her dead
Dead
body.
daughter. Her
Yeah,
dead body, yeah.
her dead body. It takes control of it with the spine, and then he hunts it into this cave, in which you see the what you're supposed to think is the final fight scene. And you see a little bit of this fight. It was okay. It was off screen, but it was more like blurry in the background. You kind of see him like fighting with himself. It's
You
not.
do get to see the monster's face, I think, like twice in the cave and once back at the house.
Yeah, you get to see the monster's face, which it's okay. I mean, what do you guys think of the monster's face?
It looked like a humanoid monster.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it actually, if you guys have ever seen the horror movie Pumpkinhead,
Exactly what it looked
yeah,
like.
yeah, okay.
it looked
Yeah, I can see
exactly
that.
like Pumpkinhead's face, but a little bit more mangled. That's
I
about
can
it.
see that.
Yeah, I could agree with that. So you see the monster. Um, you see its face. He kind of takes it out. He takes it home. He hits it with an axe to kill it again, even though it's already supposedly dead. He had stabbed it with a knife. And then he goes inside. He thinks, the day's done, day's good, and he goes to fix the window that he never fixed that keeps creaking back and forth, only to have the monster come up behind him and basically cut his head off. And
All off screen. You don't ever
Oh,
see that
Yeah,
part.
you never
You
yeah.
see
don't ever
any
see
of
that
that.
part.
Yeah.
yeah, all off screen. And then the monster walks into his house, pins his head to the wall, and says, "My body, mine," and then walks off screen.
Well, grabs another magic jar of like goo, poop mud. I don't know. At this point, we don't even know what the hell's
Yeah, I
jar.
don't know what he was carrying. It's kind of
It was
So,
more. It was more the potion is what he was carrying.
yeah.
but yeah, and then walks off screen, and like that's the end of the movie.
That's literally the movie.
Yeah.
Um, this
I
movie was what 70 minutes long. Somebody said
I think it
um
was like 70.
72. 72
Yeah.
minutes long.
72 minutes. 72 minutes that felt like fucking 4 hours. It was the most boring movie I've watched in a long time. Um, the entirety of the movie, you don't even really understand what's going on because there's no backstory, there's no filler story within the movie itself. There's nothing, and then you get at the end you get scammed by this fake ass whatever you want to call it monster coming up, and we assume kills the guy, cuts his head off, but you don't really know what happened. Um, and then that's the end of the movie. Um, I gave it a 2 whenever I gave my rating, simply because what they did with the budget that they had wasn't terrible. It could have been a lot worse. Um, it wasn't bad, but they they definitely could have done a lot better. Um, I feel like I don't know. I gave it a 2. I was being a little generous. Um, but like I said, they you said it was like a $30,000 budget. Uh, you could tell because they left all the fight scenes off screen, so they didn't have to work with like special effects or anything like that. That really kind of hurt the movie. I feel like if the action was there on the screen, this movie probably would have been 10 times better.
Hey, but you get a lot of that yelling. I bet you he can really do it. Oh yes.
Bro, you literally get he screams louder whenever he's trying to take a piss than he does throughout the entirety of the movie. Like
Yeah.
he's battling these demons or whatever the hell they
He's
are,
a quiet
and he's
fighter,
screaming
bro.
louder whenever he's trying to piss these razor blades on the rock. It's
Yeah.
just I'm still unsure what we watched. What did we just watch?
Bless you, or yeah, so confused, man.
I
You're so
feel like
confused.
I feel like you could watch a documentary and it'd be way like 10 times more interesting than what we watched. And I don't, and I agree with Blessy's assessment in the sense that like, yeah, it could have been a shittier movie in the sense that they, $30,000 budget, but like, it's an interesting concept. Like the first fight scene they show is completely off screen, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, that's kind of like a little like people don't do that very much anymore. Like give you that kind of suspense of like, oh, this dude's fucking hunting monsters. Like, oh, and then like, but turns out that's the whole movie. Like every time he hunts a monster, that's it. It's all off screen. It all happens, and then like you just see the aftermath of him come back, bruised, bloody, battered, like completely wrecked with this head. And then he makes the spikes with a pencil sharpener, literally a giant pencil sharpener. Like there's a point where they show that. Like I'm not even kidding. He puts a piece of wood and then starts cranking it like a pencil sharpener, and
Heck
then
yeah.
mounts that to the wall, and then mounts the head to the wall, and then like goes back to like making potions, and then the horn goes off, and then he just goes out, and then you assume he wins the fight as he comes walking back to the door. Like no sense of time, no sense of like there's no action. There was really no action in the movie except for like the last 10-15 minutes of the movie, the literal very end of the movie. That's the only time you actually got to see him remotely fight something. And as Sandwich said, it's super blurry and in the background. So like they're not even showing you what's happening. So, and that's why I gave it a 1 to 1.5.
Right on.
Yeah, I think you should have just gone with a 2 instead of 1.5. But yeah, I don't know. Brand, do you want to talk about why you gave it a 10, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I'm interested. I
Oh,
want to hear this.
I do want to justify why I gave it a 10.
I
Okay.
would like to hear this as
Yeah.
well.
So I agree with you guys that the lack of action, the way it was filmed, and the zero plot line kind of didn't make the movie as great as it could have been. 100% agree. However, the I don't mind movies with no plot because, well, especially this movie, because one, they were consistent. We knew that he was gonna fight. It's almost really like playing a video game in some aspects. Like, okay, you didn't get to see any action, but it's consistent. You go fight, you come back, you heal up, you take care of your loot, whatever you gathered, and then you go on another mission, right? You get called again, and you do the same thing like day in and day out. Kind of boring, but there was an interesting to me like mystique about it, like with him making the potions, like not like we knew what he was doing, but we didn't really know like why he was doing it or what he was making the mud with, right? And then like we knew he was trapping something when we saw the carcass that he was using as bait, but we really didn't know like what he was trying to trap or like what he was using it for. And then we got to see the castle. The kind of like not knowing any of the story and not knowing what's going on I enjoyed because I can come up with it in my own head, or I can just sit there and say I don't know, and it doesn't affect like the rest of the movie at all if you don't know. Or like in certain situations, if you like don't know what's going on, that's gonna affect like the next scene. But it was an easy watch, and it was like he won, and it was is fit well most of the fights, and it was an easy watch, and it was
So I
yeah.
expect Fran to give every movie that we watch from here on out a 10
I probably won't,
Higher or
but
higher.
or higher.
or
Yeah,
higher.
Like we'll do a 1 to 10 ranking system. And Ray's like,
Yeah,
that
or
was a
like 12.
25.
That was
yeah,
fucking
but
27.
yeah, but there were other cool things like we got to see him making armor, and
Was
we
he
got to.
making armor? Do we actually know that that's what he was doing?
I'm gonna assume it had
I couldn't
scales on
tell you.
it, and he had it in. Okay, yes, you do have to assume a little bit, but I don't think there's anything
A
wrong
little
with
bit.
that.
You have to assume everything about the entire movie. What do you mean?
I would say 99%
You
of
have
that
to
movie was
assume
all
that somebody's
assumption.
even asking him to fight for them.
For
What do you mean?
real, though.
Yeah,
Like
but
the
those
only,
are
You
okay,
have to assume that
the,
people in the castle even know
the
he
only
exists.
thing, like literally the only thing that we knew for a fact is that he was getting gold, but not spending it. Because he like you
yeah,
see him get gold one time, and he opens up this chest full of gold, tosses the thing, and closes the chest, and it's like done.
right on.
But
I
that's
don't
it.
know. I feel like most of the assumptions that we made and talked about when we watched the movie are probably safe assumptions and they're right. Like 90%.
Like that movie. Like we just assumed everything
Yeah.
about that movie.
Yeah, which no, we could just kind of make up what we think and what we want to happen.
Well, I mean, who needs gold when you got magic mud? I mean, I'm just
That's
saying.
true.
You
That's
know,
true.
damn.
I
Can I
mean,
have
why
some of
would
that
you
magic
go out
button?
and fight these things for gold whenever you could just sell the magic mud, right?
And even though we didn't like see the
Probably make more
action,
money.
we at least got to see all the heads of the monsters that he did fight, which I thought it was cool. It was
Which
cool
was at
artwork.
least $10,000 of the budget.
All
At one
right.
at one point, I'm pretty sure he fought the abominable snowman. So
The Yeti. Yeah.
yeah, the Yeti. I'm
Oh.
100% sure. Yeah, there was
Ah,
there was
so
like
that's why we can't find that motherfucker. Like,
yeah
Yeah,
yeah he's
yeah, no,
gone now.
he killed it. But yeah, no, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. Like for me, the reason why I gave it a 4 is I agree with the world itself seemed interesting to me. At one
Yeah.
point, we see a dragon fly over him.
Oh
We
yeah,
know
I
that the
forgot.
Are you
castle.
sure that was a dragon?
I was about to
Yes,
say, are you sure that was a dragon?
yes,
We saw a shadow
You
yes. We
saw
of,
see
the
a shadow,
shadow
of
but
a
that you
flying
assumed was a
creature.
dragon.
you know it's a dragon. And then like
It was, I
they
don't
talk,
know.
they talk about the city of Radiant or Radiant. I'm not very sure.
Oh yeah, it was the
Um,
last city.
we
Yes.
see like that there were other warriors in the world. It's kind of disappointing that we don't get to see more of them, that he's like the only one that's out there that we see. Like we see a dead one where there's like a troll that's walking away, which how he didn't see the troll. It's
Oh yeah.
beyond me. um he also has a book in his place that shows monsters, so he has something, like, but we never get to see what it is, which I think would have been cool if they would have at least showed a little bit more of what that monster book was and like what's in it and like where he got. Like I understand they're trying to keep the mystery with the mud, and all that. But like, do all the warriors in that world have it? Is it just him? Did he figure it out after his daughter died? Like, what exactly? And that, I get what Bran is saying. Like, it's, you can make that up in your own head. And I think that's what the
Yeah.
writers of this movie and the director really wanted to do, was for you to make up what was going on in your own head. But they kind of kill it when they show the monster's face at the end. Like, if everything would have been off screen, then I would have been like, okay, like, you're showing all this off screen. You want it to be a mystery. You don't want to show the monster. And there goes that thing again. You don't want to show the monster. You want to, make it mystique. But then they show the monster at the end. So it kind of kills that whole mystique thing. And they also show other monsters too that didn't look like what they were when he put the heads up, like the goblins in the middle of the night that looked like lizard people at first, but then they're goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking about that, it just dawned on me. Good reference would be like a poor man's Witcher.
Yeah, I definitely get like the
If Witcher
Witcher
was
vibe
played by
from it.
Wish.com, Jason
Yeah,
Momoa.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
No,
But like,
yeah.
no, like fucking Sandwich said it best. The whole the book, like the other warriors. Like, what if there was like a whole society based around hunting monsters, and it was like like not like a religion or anything like that, but like a special warriors kind of code, and maybe that's where the magic mud comes from. The idea of this, like, it's this all this knowledge that's been passed down from previous warriors and previous
Yeah.
generations. The problem was that they didn't explain any of that at all. This is all
Yeah.
speculation. But like, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you, Sandwich.
No, you're fine. That's the whole reason why I brought it up. I mean, there's other stuff too. Um, you know, the like when he finally kills the monster, I said it earlier, he really seems like it didn't really help him with his feelings of vengeance. And I mean, really, this guy, every fight he does, he like almost fucking dies, which is why I made the joke early on, level 99 alchemist, level 10 warrior. Like, he definitely can fight, but he definitely was not what I was expecting as a fighter. Like, he really just ended up hurt almost at the end of the fight. And then at the end of the movie, he's like a master marksman with an arrow, but like he never uses a bow. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is that? Like, there were things in this movie, which is why I gave it a 4. Like, the world itself and the wide shots of the world made me want to know what's going on in this world, which made me more interested. But the fall through is they didn't explain anything. Like, you see this person who shoots an arrow into a tree to give him his missions, but you don't know what that is. You don't know what the castle is, but you get to see it. You see he talks a little bit about the trolls in the south, that it's too far north for them to come here, but then you see a troll in the north. Like, what was that? Why was it there? There's the mud itself is a big question too, is like, if it can bring people back from the dead, is he already immortal, so there's no point on him using the mud after a fight because he would have healed anyways. These are all things that they wanted to leave
Or if it could bring people back from the dead, why didn't he just resurrect his daughter?
exactly. And also, like, if the mud, like, there's so much, and I understand they wanted it to be like special, they wanted it to be like, think of this yourself, but like, movies like that are sometimes done very well. I think this movie was not done well in that sense, which is why I gave it a 4. It definitely opened up my mind of like, okay, this could be a really cool world, but they didn't follow through with like making the world, like, they could still stay aloof and make the world more vibrant, I guess, is what I'm thinking the word would be, like, more,
More immersive.
yeah,
Yeah.
more immersive. And like, you see the, keep doing that, you see the, what was it, there are a couple parts that like it bugged you, Silver, like the armor shooting out fire or whatever. Like they could have explained his armor. They could have explained like what that armor is, why it can do that. You see one part that bugged me, and I know this is just me nitpicking, but you know, somehow the monster, when it's just the like skull and spinal cord, it dug a hole. It dug a big ass hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Like how?
Well, yeah, I completely dug up the daughter's body, corpse, bones. I don't. We don't even know at that point either. But like, there's just so like, for instance, Fran, you were talking about the whole he was making armor. I can see that. And I don't disagree that he probably was making armor. That's a great assumption, but we don't know. We had no
Yeah, he
idea.
could have been making stuff for like where he lives or like anything. Yeah, 100%.
And then,
I
like,
totally get it.
the armor itself didn't make any sense. There's just, again, with a little bit of more, like a little more backstory. Like, even if it just came from him, like the point where he sees the dead warrior, he can be like, I guess I'm the last one now, or something like that. He could have said something as simple as, I guess I'm the last one. And we would have been like, shit, there was more of them. Like, that in itself would have kept the whole thing aloof and mysterious, while also telling us as the viewers, okay, there used to be more of these guys, more of these monster hunters, more people that went out into the world and fought back against all the darkness that's coming after us. But he didn't. He didn't say really. He didn't really say anything. He just kind of like grunted towards
Yeah, well,
the dead warrior. He was like, huh, like, sucks to suck.
well,
You
it's
know.
true, but yeah. No, there was like very minimal talking in the entire movie too. So most of the
Yeah, there was
movie
like
is
15
just
speaking lines, maybe.
yeah, most of the movie is just instrumental, and then
A
um
whole lot of grunting.
yeah, the noises that come from like him fighting the monsters or the monsters making noises.
I think we can all agree that there's three things that we can take from this movie. One, fix your fucking windows when they're broken.
For real.
Bro,
Two,
Yeah,
it's not in the budget to fix the windows. How many times do I gotta tell you this?
hey, he started fixing them like halfway through the movie. He just
Yeah, you seen what happened then, didn't you?
yeah, I guess maybe we don't fix the windows. I don't
Don't
know.
fix the windows, bro. It's
Don't
not in the
fix the
budget.
windows.
I'll
two,
send.
two. Don't put your magic poop mud next to the fucking broken window.
Maybe lock that shit up a little, just as a precaution.
Well, he
Or
did lock it up, but we didn't really understand why he locked it up the way he did. So
And
he
then
did he
And third,
oh, are you talking about the window or the potions? Because he locked up the potions.
he locks up the potions originally, but then at some point, which he didn't show him, he
He came
put
back home and left it on the windowsill.
and
Yeah.
left it on the windowsill, so then like the window would just push that shit over, like
Yeah.
no explanation though, like.
Yeah.
All right, and third,
and three, this movie needed fast travel. But
bro, yes.
Yeah, that middle
Fast
part.
travel to the end.
But the sunrise was so beautiful.
yeah,
And
no,
so
the
and
back
so
I heckin' loved
meaningful.
watching this guy wake up 17 times throughout the movie.
Me
yeah,
too.
no, the backdrops were sometimes very good, but yeah, overall, like I said, I give this movie a 4. Brand's giving it staying with a 10, which I'm still surprised about.
I'm
Yeah.
so confused, Brand. From now on, just start
You
with 10,
can
okay?
you can think whatever you want to think about what's happening, and if it's not a part of the movie that interests you, you don't have to worry about it, and you can just move on and focus. It's so easy. It's so easy to
And for
watch.
that,
it's
and for
not
that
that
reason,
easy.
it's a masterpiece.
For that reason, it's a masterpiece. Hey, like 99% of the movie, shit.
Jesus.
That 1%, chef's kiss.
The things that you'd find in a traditional movie that most people like are not in this movie. 100% agree.
But it's a
However,
10.
however, the things that are in this movie to me make it really good. I like things with no
Fair
plot. I
enough.
don't have to
No,
think. Yeah.
fair enough.
It's just so
You
easy to
don't.
watch.
No, you have to think if there's a plot. If there's not a plot, you have to think. If there's a plot, you don't have to think because it's all right there before you. So
I don't know. The more plot it's got and the more information they give me, the more nitpicky I get about like do the backstories line up? Is it the backstories? Is that
what
what they're
Yes.
called?
backstory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in this movie, but that's what I'm saying. Like movies
Yeah.
with more information and more plot and more like stuff going on, I tend to be like, hey, that doesn't match up with this, or like you notice little details that
So
aren't
those
correct.
movies will be like a 6,
No, they
a
probably
4.
still get a 10. I'm
No,
like,
that's a valuable question. That's a valid, very valid question. I just want to know where your rating starts, Grant. It's like,
Like I'm just trying to figure out where we're at on this rating
uh,
system.
This is gonna be a very interesting thing with all of us. Like, okay, we're gonna be super critical on this. Brent's gonna be like, it's 10, everything.
It's a
Yeah.
10. It's
Yeah.
a 10.
Yeah, it might be.
16, fabulous, absolutely
Handing out kids
marvelous.
like her name's Oprah Winfrey.
And you get a 10. And you get a 10.
Yeah, all the movies. Yeah, that's probably how it'll be.
All right, well, that was our
Are
first.
you wrapping this up then?
Yeah. That was our first episode 0. We talked a lot about Headhunter, and we're gonna be doing more video games. I think I'm probably gonna be streaming Steel Rising coming up and talking about it next time we do this with whatever movie we
I
decide
guess
to watch.
we could always talk about the differences between Genshin and Tower of Fantasy.
We could someday, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
And then we'll all be like probably putting stuff out together, hanging out together, and whoever's playing something will probably record it and put it out, and then will eventually make a Twitch. I haven't yet. We're just gonna use mine for right now, and then we'll probably make a YouTube coming up here. But yeah, we don't know exactly what day we're gonna be.
So if this makes it to YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, or don't. I mean, it's up to you.
No,
You think that we're trash? It's
definitely
okay.
Definitely do. Because we're a 10.
We are a 10.
For
me, maybe that doesn't mean much, so I'll let you guys.
We are definitely not a 10, but thank you for believing in us.
I think we're a 10.
We're gonna do our best, guys. We're gonna watch movies, and we're gonna hang out and play video games and talk about bullshit.
Heck yeah.
This was fun.
This was fun.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
This was.
I think
good.
I think we explained the movie in this podcast more than the movie explained
the movie
itself.
sucked, but the podcast, that shit was lit.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I think that I did a very not good job about explaining the movie. I crossed over a lot of things, but I'm gonna try better as we keep going with this.
Everybody did great, man.
Watch the trailer and then watch the podcast, and you might be able to skip the movie.
Definitely.
Unless you're like me, and then just watch the movie, and you don't have to think.
I mean, somebody's gonna like this movie. Somebody named
Heck
Brad.
Yeah.
I enjoyed most of it, but
There's
like
a market for it, for sure.
Somewhere.
Somewhere
out there.
Somewhere out there.
Just not in Blessie's village. They can
No.
keep
Or
out
mine.
there.
Blessie, you got a
Fine, I'm
village?
good.
Bro. Yeah,
Blessie's got a village.
The dude's been protecting it this entire time, and y'all just had to sit through 72 minutes of that shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I loved it. I had my snacks.
What day are we officially doing this on Thursdays or?
We haven't decided. It's probably gonna be Thursday or Friday that we'll do it.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we will let you know. So look forward to more of playing on easy, And I
The official Playing on Easy podcast.
The official Playing on Easy I still don't know if we should say it, but
Very official.
but yeah, so look forward to that. The name itself is exactly what I'm going to do, is play games on easy if I do play games.
I don't do anything but so.
Yeah. So if you want, once we get stuff set up and started, I'm sure that Silver may stream sometimes, and he likes playing on hard mode. But the rest of us, we're gonna play on easy.
Come on, let's go. You want to watch a movie or talk shit with your friends? Let's go and see what adventures we can begin. Yeah, let's play the games or watch the movies together. And all the way we'll be playing on easy mode. Whoa, whoa. We're playing on easy mode. Whoa, whoa. We're playing on easy mode. Whoa, whoa. We're playing on easy mode.